is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done. We're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I am very excited to be bringing our guest into today's show. Tracy Christian is a veteran talent agent with more than 25 years in the entertainment industry. She is the president of TCA Mgmt, a boutique talent agency representing trained character actors, producers, and writers. Named as one of the top Black female executives by Forbes, Hollywood Reporter, Essence, Black Enterprise, and more, Tracy has represented a list as varied as producer Mona Scott Young, Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer, Emmy and Golden Globe winners Elizabeth Moss and Jeremy Piven, Emmy nominees Michael Kenneth Williams, Jamie Hector, Grammy Award winner Toni Braxton, and industry veteran Tisha Campbell. Tracy is bi-coastal, with residence in both Los Angeles and in New Jersey. And after years of having difficulty finding clothes that accommodated her lifestyle, Tracy started Sante Grace, an upscale plus-size clothing line. Tracy functions as both the founder and head designer. The line has been featured in multiple fashion magazines and blogs like Fashion Bomb Daily, Who, What, Where, Refinery 29, and Time Magazine, and now here on Word of Mom Radio. So with all that being said, Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I am thrilled to have you, and I have to tell you, some of the people that you represent are just some of my favorite actors right now. And it's got Elizabeth Moss. I mean, having watched her all the way from The West Wing, she was just a teenager, to where she has gone. It's a wonderful thing to see a woman taking control of her career like that. Same thing with Octavia Spencer. Wow. Talk about somebody who's become that household name and really representing women that don't take a lot of stuff and are strong enough to step out of the box. So I would love for you, Tracy, to take us on your journey from talent agent to fashion designer.
Well, it's really simple. I have a beautiful, big, broad life, and I couldn't find any beautiful, big, broad clothing. So, like, even in college, my friends and I would go skiing, and I'd have to rent men's clothes to go skiing because they just didn't exist in women's sizes. I guess whomever is responsible for making women's ski clothes thought the fat girls were staying home eating bonbons, that we weren't out on the slopes too. But it's always been a bit of that. And then as I became a working professional in the entertainment industry, you look at your boss or your boss's boss for an example of success, right? What car does that person drive? Where do they live? How do they conduct themselves? How do they dress? And for me, I was never going to be able to replicate that because the clothes were not available. Armani wasn't making a suit a woman's size 20 or, Chloe or Stella McCartney. It didn't exist for me. So what I would do is I would go through Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, and I would pull out these images and then go to my seamstress, and we'd make the alterations that you need to make for something to, look good on my body. And I'd replicate this stuff. And I knew fabrics. I worked for a converter for a while, so I knew fabrics fairly well, and I would pick out all of the textiles that we were to use, and I would create a collection. So I did that for years, making clothes for myself. And it was expensive, and you learned a lot of production lessons. And it meant that when my suitcase was late, with me traveling somewhere, or even worse, stolen, I was really up a creek because the other girls could go downstairs in the hotel and just pick up clothes or go to the local mall and buy clothes. But I was stuck. There's no such thing as Lane Bryant in the south of France. I was not going to be walking down, the croissant with my client in some dress from, I don't even know. But it taught me I'm probably not the only one with this challenge, right? There are options that we don't have once you get above a size 12 or a size 14. So I knew I wanted to start the clothing line, but I have a career and I didn't have time to make patterns or whatever. But when the pandemic struck and we were all sitting around wondering what the next step was, I literally heard a voice one night that said, create your clothing line. And I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I bought the domain, and that's when I started.
Women start with why. I say it all the time on this show. We really do. Women see a need that's not being filled, and we fill it. And I love that you did this because, again, like you said, you shouldn't be reduced to having to buy men's clothing because some designer decided that, women of that size aren't going to be doing this. Really? Says who?
How do they know?
Exactly. And it's amazing because we were talking about this earlier, 40 something years ago. I can't believe it's literally 42 years ago. My gosh. That friends of mine were plus size models for Sears and Macy's, the catalogs and stuff. Back then in 1982, a plus size model was a 14 to an 18, depending on the clothing. In today's world, a plus size model is a size 8. And we wonder why women have such screwed up images of our bodies because of what Hollywood puts out. And when there is a woman with curve, where do they go? Where do they find fashion?
There are a lot of challenges. One, human beings are getting bigger, period. Just they're getting bigger. So what was a size 6 in 1960 is no longer a size 6. So it's screwed up in that way. And then in women's fashion, there's no law that says, okay, a size 10 is this measurement, as opposed to men's clothes that are sold by the measurement, right? So if you're a size 16 neck, for a men's shirt, that's a particular measurement. It's not about are you fat, you skinny, you're this, you're that. It's just what the measurement is. And what it allows manufacturers to do is to manipulate women a bit. So when you have something that's European made, it runs smaller. When it's American made, it runs larger because the Western body is a little larger. So if you're buying Liz Claiborne or Donna Karan or whatever, you can buy a whole size small. It's all kind of a mind game. And it does really, that socialization has really screwed up women who try to fit. Look, everybody knows what Spanx is. Everybody knows what Skims are. We alter our bodies to fit the clothes when really it should be the other way around. The clothes should be changing to accommodate us. That's how screwed up we are. And I tell people all the time, forget about the size of my clothes. Decide how you want to look in that outfit. And then just buy the size that gives you that. The number has no relevance, but that's so hard. That conditioning is so hard for us to undo.
It really is. And it's an amazing thing because it shouldn't matter. When you look at all of these companies out there now, where I have a friend who's a size 4, that little teeny thing, and had bought something, had to return it 3 times. She wound up having to get like a 3X for it to fit her little tiny body. I'm like, in what world is this, like the Twilight Zone where those little teeny characters or something?
That's fast
In this
fashion.
world.
So there's a real lack of consistency in sizes based on the cost of the garment, where it's made, how it's made. We really we're conscious of that particularly with plus sizes. And so we really work on what I always say, we're here to end the crying in the fitting room. Very few women who run into the fitting room knowing that everything is going to fit or look exactly the way it looks on the model or the mannequin. But we give as much of an education as we can in describing the garments, describing what the fabrics do, and why clothes that are a little better made look better on a curvy body. Now, we were talking about when you grew up, and you grew up at a time where people were very conscious of you wanted a good belt, you wanted a good bag, a good pair of shoes. Those were the foundations of your wardrobe. And people knew if you had a good pump, all you had to do is take it to the cobbler and you could put a new sole on it, you could polish it, and it was like new. You got a good pair of Ferragamo flats or, some other thing you save for those kinds of things, and they'd last forever. They were quality made, and that meant something. Never mind the prestige, but it was an investment. I'm going to buy this basic black pump, buy this designer, because I know I can wear it for the next 30 years. So even if it costs $150, I'm amortizing that over 30 years, not 3 months. Well, fast fashion came in and they kind of threw all of that out. And now you'll see women who are 25, just really entering the job market between 35. They don't know about bridge. They don't know about better. They don't know about an investment wardrobe. What they do know is I went to Bloomingdale's and this blazer was $250. And then I looked online at Shein and something that looks exactly the same was $19. So they buy the $19. But they're not taking into account, one, is it going to look like the other blazer when I get it? No. How's it going to fit? What's the fabric? Am I going to sweat like a pig in it? And how many times am I going to have to spend this $19?
Think about that. Think about what Tracy just said, because cheap is expensive. It really is. So we're going to say thank you to our sponsors, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Word of Mom Radio. She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA. And in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Tracy Christian about her clothing line, Sante Grace. I'm serious, I love what you were saying, because people really think, oh, well, I got it for such a better price from this place. Like I said before we broke, cheap is expensive. So it doesn't matter if you only spent $15 on something. If you wear it once, and have to replace it. It's already torn when you're taking it out of the bag. And then they don't bother having you send it back because why bother? But it doesn't matter because it's already torn. You're not going to wear it anyway. Either way, they gave you your refund of your money, but you wasted your time on something that is going to look good on you. Those signature things. And, I laugh because I think of my mom. Back in the day, you always wanted to make sure you had the little black dress with a cute little bolero jacket or this jacket or, the different things you can throw over it, but you want that shell underneath to be able to dress up, dress down. It's like having those pants.
Oh,
Like,
look,
these
we
shoes
were
look like
taught
this, and those shoes look
you had
like
a good
that.
pair of pumps,
Yeah.
you had a good bag, you had a good suit, whether you were wearing it to a job interview or to a funeral. You had these staples in your closet. And I think fast fashion is like fast food. Okay. Taco Bell is delicious, right? But I know I can't eat Taco Bell every day. I'll have a heart attack and die. It's not good. And it's the same way with fashion, with style. People see me before they hear me. And what do I want to be saying to them? What do I need them to know about Tracy Christian? Shein and other fast fashion outlets are not giving the message that I want people to believe about me. So it's not an issue for me not buying those clothes. I think budget wise, I always tell women, you got to shop according to what you have. I'm not saying that people should go out there and, be poverty stricken trying to buy a dress. No, that's stupid. But be aware of, are you investing money or are you spending it?
And again, those core things, people don't realize that you can have 4 or 5 core things, good blazer, nice jacket, great skirt, but you can move that around so many different ways.
Yeah.
And
they
that's what it
always
boils down to.
You can wear them for years. The A-line skirt, the style never changes, and it looks just as fresh today as it was 20 years ago when you bought it. It's a very kind of French way of shopping and style, and I love going to places like France and Italy, and you'll see these women who are impeccably turned out, whether they are 21 years old or 81. And sometimes you see them wearing the same thing, but the clothes are cut so well that it's beautiful, right? The woman who's a young woman, whoever, she looks sexy, and the older woman looks phenomenal too. So that's really what the brand is about, offering those options to plus size women. And sadly, I meet a lot of women who have never had the opportunity to wear real silk or real cashmere or linen. And they find out, oh, wait, I'm wearing a natural fiber. I'm not schwitzing like I did when I was wearing a polyester blouse. Natural fibers usually incubate as well as breathe. So when you wear something like silk, think about when you ski, your undergarments are called silks, right? Why? Because silk is both an insulator and it's breathable. So you can wear my silk pants in the summer and not be sweating around your crotch. And you can wear them in the winter and not be cold. And then there's something about drape. If you know who Halston was or designers like that, particularly in the 70s, they were very concerned with the drape. And when you take a luxury fabric, they kind of hang off your body in a certain way. And I don't even know what it is, but instantly people look at you and know this is a quality product. It doesn't take any training. It's just something in the eye that people can see. Okay, these pants are more expensive than these pants. This sweater is a better sweater than this other thing. And it speaks very loudly, but very quietly. And if you're a person like me who was climbing the corporate ladder, who needed, famous people, wealthy people to instantly trust her, a lot of that I was able to do with the clothes that I wore. And we all know, if you see, a tradesman, if you have a plumber come over to your house and he looks a certain way, kind of don't trust that guy. If he's dressed inappropriately. If you have another guy come out and he's wearing like workman's pants and the proper boots and he looks appropriate, you trust this person. Well, the same is true in business. You want to do business with people who are smart enough to look the part. It puts you a step forward that you can actually walk the walk and talk the talk. So how we present ourselves to the world should be a very conscious thing.
Agreed. And getting back to what you were saying with some people that wear the same things, that's what accessories are for. It really is. That's what scarves are for, and a shell and different jewelry. You're putting your hair in a different way is going to change the way your outfit looks, even though you're wearing the
Completely.
same outfit.
Whether
I
you're
always
wearing a
think,
nude lipstick or a bright red lipstick,
right.
a hoop versus a stud, you wouldn't think it does, but it changes the entire song that the outfit is singing. Your
It really does.
fragrance.
Even how you tie your scarf. I wear a lot of scarves
Absolutely.
because I have neck and spine injuries. And believe it or not, a lot of times I'm in a neck brace and nobody ever knows it because I'm always wearing a scarf. I'm not in a neck brace now. But that's one of the reasons that 10 months out of the year, I will have a scarf on. Nobody notices. But people compliment me all the time. Oh, it's so nice to see a woman wearing a scarf. And
Well,
I'll
because it
kind
looks
of,
like you took the extra 5 minutes
right.
to groom yourself, right? So it says, even though people aren't even conscious that they're thinking this about you, they're thinking to themselves, oh, Dori's really well put together. She's a really well turned out person. Because women don't take the time to wear scarves any longer.
We don't. And one of the things I like about your line is that it's classy, got great stuff. But I think very often women in business dress the way they think a man in business would dress if he was a woman, as
Mm,
opposed to just owning your womanhood and dressing. And so that's one of the things that I like. Is that
thank you.
owning your womanhood,
Yeah,
owning those curves, you're accentuating the great parts of your body. You know, women are supposed to have curves. We're supposed to be soft and touchable, as opposed to this 14-year-old boy body that girls all of a sudden want. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I never will. So I always applaud people that are just comfortable in their own skin. I remember Nell Carter. Do you remember Nell Carter?
of course I remember
I
Nell
saw
Carter.
her do Ain't Misbehaving, and she
Oh,
was in a
wow.
red dress. And I mean, every guy in the audience, her tongue was hanging out a foot because she owned it and she worked every curve and just was out there. They were eating out of the palm of her hand because when you are dressed well, you feel better. You give off a different vibe. And just because we're curvy, rock them, rock the curve.
Well, I think when you're curvy, you're at an advantage, right? If you're owning your femininity.
Yep.
And it was very important to me. I'm obviously African American, and in my community, you're supposed to be curvy. So for us, being a size 16 was not a slight. And I knew many of my Caucasian friends in that community, it was like get as small and as skinny as you could be, and then go and get, fake boobs and a fake bottom and, what have you. But we really celebrate curves. So our line really celebrates curves. I am inspired by the 70s, like remembering my mom and her girlfriend getting dressed to try to get into Studio 54. And I remember wrap dresses and things like that. So I really want to celebrate a waistline, even if it's street fashion that we're doing. I want to accentuate, that Coke bottle kind of figure. There's lots of looks that you can create with our line. Like we're soon going to come out with a oversized kind of boyfriend suit, which doesn't really have any curve to it, except the way I'm going to wear it. It's true. We want plus women, it may even be for the first time in their lives, able to look in the mirror and have an appreciation for their full bust line or their big butt or their wide hips and and we're cinching in their waist. And there's lots of different ways to do it. So one of the things that we do live on IG, live styling, when you buy something from us, if you buy a wrap dress from us, you'll get a little postcard that tells you the proper way to tie the dress and shows you different ways to wear it without having to go out and buy special undergarments, and showing you, look, the wrap dress looks great pairing with this other thing. And sometimes it's not even our merchandise, but just something I think other women might have in their closet. Because I know the industry has kind of forgotten about the plus woman. It's been about covering you up rather than, how do I accentuate the femininity? How do I create a space for you? And if you can see something like this, people are really shocked at the looks that we can create just with, using the right fabric. And we do use absurdly expensive fabrics. So what we do is, I used to sew my own clothes. So I got to be very friendly with a lot of the jobbers in downtown LA. And some of that stuff falls off a truck sometimes. If you're from the East Coast, you know that phrase. And I would go down there, and silk that normally retails for $27 a yard, I would be able to get for $10. And I literally would buy all the silk in the store and warehouse it. And we just make our collection from that silk. And that allowed us to be price competitive. Our prices are more than, like, if you shop at fast fashion, we're definitely more than that, but we're less than or the same as like a Lord and Taylor or Bloomingdale's, or places of that Filene Het Company, if you remember those stores. That's what allowed us to be competitive. And lots of women, I get lots of emails about, they didn't know the difference between satin and silk. They didn't know, they'd never had a cashmere sweater in their lives. And that's why we're here. Look good, but feel good.
Looking good and feeling good is a great thing, and a great way to wrap this up. As we are closing out here, Tracy, what do you want to leave our listeners with, and how may they reach out to you?
So I am all about joy, right? Not to be modeling, but we only have a certain amount of time on earth, and you shouldn't spend that time in polyester. I want people to love, well, it's true, right? I want people to love their lives. Like, when I get dressed, I'm able to look in the mirror and I love what I see. And that's what I want to offer to your audience. So you can reach me through our website, which is santegrace.com. We also have a presence on both IG and TikTok under Sante Grace. And if you have any questions about the line, or just reach out to me. And if you're a part of Dori's audience, definitely DM me. I'll give you a 20% discount on whatever you'd like to purchase. You just have to mention Word of Mom Radio.
Well, I am putting that in our show notes, and I really do encourage you, take a look at Sante Grace. We need to celebrate our curves. We don't need to hide them under tons of things that aren't flattering. Work every curve. There's just something so feminine about a woman, a real woman's body in beautiful clothing that is designed to accentuate, not hide, the body that you've been given. Because, like you said, we don't have that long. And to live it, if only I can, if only. Baloney. Be yourself. Celebrate every single thing that you can celebrate about yourself. Just go for it, and know that every time you do, you give somebody else permission to do it too. That girl who, no matter what she does, this is who she is. And somebody's going to make her feel bad, and other people are going to make her feel great. But the reality is, it all comes from you. So get in front of that mirror and love who you are. And I love that you are out there celebrating that, Tracy. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you coming and sharing your journey with us. I really do.
Thank you for
so
having me.
much.
Truly.
Absolutely
having
been my
me.
pleasure. It really has. And for all of you tuning in, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Sure of herself, yeah, she takes care of biz. Powerful and strong, yeah, she knows who she is. Has integrity, woman strong.